Having an online store is very important for small business owners and entrepreneurs. So in this video, I am going to show you step by step how to create an online store using WooCommerce step by step. No step missed. So when you first create your store and you use only WordPress, this is the type of layout you get. Of course it works, but to be honest, this doesn't look great. We want to transform this into something that looks like this. So you can see here, this is a massive change. We have our product here, and this is laid out in a beautiful way. We have our consistent colors. I show you how to add all these colors on our WooCommerce website. And over here, we also have our related products. And further down here, I also show you how to create this footer and this little text over here on the bottom. So this is a detailed tutorial where I show you how to create an e-commerce store. Now, not only that, I also show you how to create the homepage. Now, let me show you what the homepage looks like. So over here, if I click on home, it now takes us to our main page. And this page here consists of this main hero area. It also has a button here which we can link to wherever we want. And when I scroll further down, it's showing our latest products. And you can see here, these are all our latest products. And when we scroll all the way down, it also has a part here which has a description of our site and also a video to go along with it. And then finally, we have our email opt-in here where our users can opt in to get some discounts. So what I also want to show you here is the way we've built this website is so powerful that we have consistency throughout. Now take a look and see what happens when I click on any of these products. So if I click on this watch here, notice what happens. The layout is going to be the same. So we have this watch here in the background, and then when I scroll, it has this beautiful image here where we can zoom in, and also we can just click here to add to cart. We also have our related products as I've shown you. And if I click here on this drone, again, we're going to have a consistent layout of this design. This is the type of website that you need in order for you to be taken serious when you are selling anything online. You can use all the techniques, all the skills on this video to start your own design agency and build e-commerce websites for your clients. So before we begin, I would like to remind you that if you buy Divi using my affiliate link, I will give you access to my web design formula course that costs $497. This course teaches you how to design professional looking websites from scratch. So go ahead, the links to that video description below. All right, so without wasting a lot of time, let's dive in and let's get started. All right, so before you begin designing your WooCommerce website, you're going to need good hosting. The company I recommend is Get Flywheel. It's managed hosting and it also is affordable as an upfront cost. The other hosting companies require you to pay for the first full year and then they take a monthly payment. But with Flywheel, it's $15 a month. In fact, I'll show you the pricing here. So the other reason why I prefer using Get Flywheel is because you can create a website really fast. And let me show you how to do this. So once you sign up for the Get Flywheel account, you're also able to have a free website hosted for 14 days. So you can come over here, click on create a new site. And you can see here, we have options to upgrade your plan, but this is not what we're looking at. We are going to come over here now to new site, and we're going to choose create a demo site. Okay, so this is what allows us to have our website for free. So you can see here I have 0 out of 1 demo sites used. So this is where I can add my site name. So let's call this Woo. You can also add a temporary domain name, which you can then change once your website is set. Over here, you want to set your data center. So I'm based in the United Kingdom, so I'm going to choose United Kingdom here. Now you need to create your WordPress user admin. Okay, so here we can just say Mac admin. You add your passwords and then confirm your password here. Once you've done that, you just click here on create demo site, and this is going to install WordPress for you. Now, once WordPress is installed, this is what you get. So this is our basic WordPress website. It has nothing on it. So what you need to do now is to log into the admin, and this is where we're going to do all the customizations. So I am going to add my URL to log into my admin part of the website. And now this is where you need to add your username and password, the one we just created. So here we are. I'm just going to say, remember me, click on login. Oops. Let me type in my password again. Log in. All right, so this is my WordPress admin dashboard. So the next step now is to install the plugins that we need in order for us to build our website. So I'm going to come over here now to plugins, click on add new. So the first plugin I'm going to need here is WooCommerce. I'm going to come over here and search for it. And you can see here, this is the very first one that comes up. I'm going to click now on install now. And by the way, WooCommerce is free. Next, I'm going to click on activate. All right, so now we need a basic setup of this. Usually I skip this and just set up my information manually. So I'm going to say no thanks, close out of here. Now this connect to woocommerce.com. I'm going to say dismiss. And I'm also going to dismiss all messages. I don't really need this right now. And then I'm also going to hide this. Okay, great. So now that I installed my WooCommerce, like I said, I would need to come over here and add all my information manually, but we're not going to do that right now. Next, you want to add our images for our products on our website. So I'm going to come over here to media and click on add new. So what you need here at this stage is you need to have high resolution pictures, which look really nice, because if you have images that don't look great on your website, it has an effect on how people convert on your website. So you want to make sure you have beautiful images. Take time out to take these pictures. And once you've done that, these are the images we're going to use on our website. So in my case, I am going to be using images from a website called pexels.com. This is a royalty-free website. You can use these images absolutely free. But in your case, I'm going to build my website here using those images. But in your case, you want to be using your images for your products. Okay, so let me show you the website. So here it is. So this is where you can search for different items. So let's search for a watch. And this is how I went in and chose my products. So I'll come over here, click here, and you can download this for free. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've downloaded all my images. So let's go ahead now and upload these images. So I'm going to click here on select files. Okay, so all my files are in my downloads folder here. So let's go ahead and select all our images. So here they are. I'm going to select the first one and just make sure that I select all my images that I need for this. All right, so with all that selected, in fact, I have more here. Let's go ahead and select them. Now I'm going to click on open, and all these images now are going to be added onto my media library. And the reason why I'm doing it this way is it saves me time to upload one by one as I'm creating my products. Okay, so it looks like all my images have been updated. That is great. The next step now is to start to add my products. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to come over here to products, click on add new. So I'm going to add my first product here. I'm going to add my description for my product. Over here now, I need to create my categories. So I'm going to click here on add new category, and I'm going to call this latest products. Click on add new category. So you can add as many categories as you want here. So another category I could add here is tech. Add new category. So as you add your products, you can just add them onto the right category, and this helps have a proper layout for your website. All right, so now that we've added this, we need to go further down here and add our pricing. So our first product here, the price is going to be $149. And then over here on the right, in fact, let me get rid of my face here. So over here on the right, we need to add our product image. So I'm going to click here on set product image. Now remember, we uploaded all our products into the library. So I'm going to click on the media library tab. And now I am going to choose my product. So I am going to start with the watch. So I'm going to go ahead and select that, set image. And I'm also going to add a short description here. There we go. So now that I've added all this, this is now ready to be saved. So I'm also going to add this to the tech category and click on publish. Now let's take a quick look at this product. So I'm going to click here and open this in a new tab. And this is our product. You can see it has our title here. It has our price. It also has a description and add to cart. So this is fantastic. We also have a description here. And if we had any reviews, this is where the reviews would be. So you can see how easy it is. In a very short time, we were able to add our product on our website, and this is pretty much ready to go. But we are going to be adding quite a few products here just to populate our website so you can see the full design. Ideally, you don't want to have one product on your e-commerce website. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one more product, and then I'm just going to add all the other products behind the scenes. Okay, so to add another one, you just click here on add new. Let's give it a name. Let's add our description. And then over here, we're going to choose our tech category and add our price. Now for this, we're going to add a sale price. So let's add $2.49 here. And then over here, we're going to add our image. So this is going to be our product here. Set product image, add another description here. And this is the shorter description. And pretty much we are good to go. Now I'm going to hit publish. And again, let's view this product one more time. And here we go. So this one here now has a sale badge, which makes it look much, much better. So we've added 2 products. I'm going to go ahead now and add a few more products. And then when we come back, we are going to have a total of 6 products. Okay, so I've added all the products, and to view all the products, you want to come over here to all products. And this is the list of all the products that we added on our shop. Okay, so the next step now is to go in and set up our store and make sure that all our information there is right, because we need to be able to take the payments once we set up our store. So let's go ahead and let me show you how to set this all up. Okay, so what we're going to do now is to go to WooCommerce settings. I'm going to come over here, hover over here, and let's go to our settings. And this is where I mentioned earlier on that we need to add our information here manually. So this is where you want to add your address. And so once you've added your address here, you want to click on Save Changes. And it's also important that you also choose your currency. So right now I'm in the UK, so you can put pound sterling. But if you want to put United States dollars here, let's see if we type in USA. Okay, US dollar. There we go. You can select it here, Save Changes. Okay, so once you've set it up here, the next tab here is the products. So on the products here, you can also have your pages. So here we have our shop page set to shop. You can get rid of it here, but normally I leave things as they are on this page right here. The shipping as well. If you're going to be shipping any products, this is where you want to add your shipping zone and all the classes and so on, so that when you go on the checkout page, the shipping is included in the product that you are setting up. So for now, we're going to leave adding the shipping zone option here. So next, I'm going to come over here to payments. So payments here is one of the most important tabs because you need to have the ability to take payments. So for now, I'm just going to activate PayPal, and to set it up, you want to click over here. In fact, I'm in the way. You want to click over here where it says set up. So this is where you add your PayPal email address. And of course, you need to have a PayPal account. So this is where you set up your PayPal email address, and receiver email, you set it over here as well. And pretty much that's all you need to do. You hit Save Changes. Now your shop is able to accept PayPal. Now, does that mean that that's the only payment? Well, WooCommerce is so versatile. You can add so many payment options. So you can also use Stripe. Now, Stripe is also very good because that takes your debit cards and credit card payments. So that's what I would add here. On my website, I use both PayPal and Stripe. Okay, so now that we've added that, the next step now is to come over here to accounts and privacy. So here you want to make sure that you activate allow customers to log into an existing account during checkout. But this one here where allow customers to place orders without an account, this is up for debate. You can leave this on or you can remove it, but I prefer not to have it here. And then account creation here, I also want to allow customers to create an account during checkout. This is very important. And also allow customers to create an account on my account page. Now I'm going to leave this as it is. So these are the options that I would add here, and click on Save Changes. So moving on, we also have emails. So you want to be able to send your emails and receive them in the right order. So here you can choose to have an email sent to you when there's a new order on your website. Now, this could be a very important thing because you want to make sure that you are ready to send that order as soon as that email comes in. So without you knowing, it's going to be very difficult. Otherwise, you'll be logging into your website every now and again to see if you have any orders. So making sure this is checked is very important, and also canceled is very important. And also all these here, in my opinion, they are very important. So I would leave them like that. So here is where you want to make sure you have your right email. So to set your email here, you want to go to manage and then add your email address in here. And pretty much that's it. Save changes and you are done. Finally, on the advanced tab, this is where you want to add your terms and conditions page. So you need to create this page first and then link it up here. So I would have it maybe pointing to the privacy policy. And also you want to make sure you force secure checkout. And this is where your website needs to have HTTPS. This allows people with credit cards to be able to make payments securely. Otherwise, they will be hacked, and your website really is going to be at a risk of being hacked. So people won't be very comfortable enough to buy on your website without the secure socket layer, which is HTTPS, and it's also called SSL. Okay, so now that we've covered this, we are going to now save everything here. Now, the next step is to take a look at our website and see what we can add in order for our visitors on our website to navigate our website easily. So the next step now is working on our menu for the website. But for now, let me just show you what this looks like. So if I go to my website, you can see here, I don't even have a menu. We have the breadcrumbs here, but this is not good enough. We want to have links here that make it easier for our visitors to navigate our website. So I'm going to come back over here, and we are going to first of all create a new page called home. So I'm going to come over here, click on add new. I'm going to close out of here. So our first page here is going to be called home. I'm going to publish it, publish one more time. Now there's nothing on this page. That's fine for now. We're going to go back, and now let's create a terms and conditions. So I'm going to click on add new. Okay, so here's our terms and conditions. I'm going to publish it and publish one more time. Okay, great. We may also need a contact page. So let's go and add that. So I'm going to go back, click on add new, contact page, hit publish. Okay, so we have a few pages now, and I think these are good enough for us to get started. So I'm going to go back now over here, and let's go to our appearance, click on menus. It's time now to add our menus. Okay, so let's give this menu a name. So I'm going to call this main menu. I'm going to assign this menu to the primary. Click on create menu. And now I need to add all my pages to my menu. So I'm going to click on view all so I can see all these pages. I'm going to select home, contact, and shop. Click on add to menu. Now you may be wondering why I'm leaving some of these pages. That is because I'm going to create a secondary menu. So let's go ahead and create another menu. So I'm going to click here on create new menu. In fact, let's save this first. It's very important that we save it. Okay, let's create a new menu. So let's call this secondary menu. I'm going to set this to secondary menu, create menu. And now I'm also going to click on view all and add all my links or all my pages over here. So I'm going to select my cart, my checkout, my account, and my terms and conditions. Now I'm going to click on add to menu, and these are my links. So I'm just going to drag my checkout and make this the last thing. And I'm also going to have my terms and conditions as a sub menu of checkout. Click on save menu. Okay, great. Now, when we come over here to our website and refresh this, you are going to notice something different. Now we have our first three buttons here, our home, contact, and also our shop. And if I click here on shop, this is now going to take us to a shop, and this is going to now display all the images and all the products that we've just created. So you can see now that our website is starting to take shape, and this is great. But I'm sure you can agree with me that this layout here, although this works, if I click on add to cart, I can, navigate this, view the cart. I can pretty much see everything here. And if I need to go and update my cart, I can do that. If I have a coupon code, I'll add it here. I can proceed to checkout and make the payment. But this design does not look great. So this is where now we're going to take this design to the next level. But before we do that, let's assign our home page to the home. And let me show you quickly how to do that. So I'm going to come back over here to our WordPress dashboard. And to do that, we need to come all the way down to settings and go to reading. So at the moment, our website is set to display blog posts, but we don't want that. We want our page to display our home page. So I'm going to select home, save changes. Excellent. So now I have my homepage here. If you have a blog, this is where you would add your blog over here, but we don't have a blog, so we're going to leave that right now. Now it's time to take our website design to the next level. And for this step, we are going to use a page builder. Now, what a page builder does is it allows us a lot of flexibility, and it gives us all the opportunities and all the tools to make our website look really, really professional. And we can customize it in such a way that it can look the way we want. So let's go in and let's start working on our second phase of our design. And we're going to do this right now. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to go to Elegant Themes. So I'm going to come over here, go to Elegant Themes. Now, I've already gone ahead and purchased Divi. This is the page builder that we are going to be using. And by the way, if you buy Divi using my affiliate link in the video description below, I will give you access to my web design formula. Now, this course teaches you how to design professional looking websites from scratch. And by the end of the video, you are going to be a professional designer because I share everything that you need to know. All right, so I'm over here now on my account. I'm going to click here to go to my account details. And here we go. So I'm in my members area here. The first thing I need to do is to come to my product downloads, and I need to download the Divi theme. So you can see here it has downloaded on the bottom left of my screen. Next, I need to come over here to my account, and here we're going to need our API key. So I'm going to click here on API keys. I'm going to copy my API key, and then next I'm going to come back over here to my website and install the theme. So I'm going to come to Appearance, Themes, Add New, Upload Theme, and I'm just going to drag and drop it over here. Click on Install Now, Activate. Next, we are going to add our API key. Now, the API key is important because it allows us to get all the updates from Elegant Themes, and also it's easier for us to connect with the support team. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to come all the way down here to Divi, click on Theme Options, and here I am going to go to Updates. We're going to add our username, paste our API key, save changes. All right, great. So if you're wondering what our website looks like, let's go ahead and take a look now that we've installed the theme. So if I come over here now to our website, you can see here that now we have our secondary menu here. That's great. And if we go to our shop here displays all our products here. And to be honest, it's not too bad, but we can do better. And this is the next step. We are going to make this design look much better. So if I click here, it's going to take me to our product page here. I can click on Add to Cart. But as you can see, this design is the out of the box design you get with Divi. So what we're going to do now is to add our color palette, because to have a professional looking website, you gotta have beautiful colors. So what I've done ahead of time is I've gone to a website called Coolers. So let me show you where it is. Here it is. And this is the color palette that I generated. Now this can be generated easy by clicking on the space bar, and this would come up with all the colors. Now, once you're happy with the colors, this is where you want to go into Divi and start adding them into your default color palette. Let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to start here with the first color. So I'm going to click here to copy. And over here now on our site, we are going to go to our general tab, and this is our default color palette. So we need to replace this with the colors that we got from here. So let's go ahead and add our first color. So to add our first color, you just click here and paste it. And that's our first color. Let's move on to the next one. Come back over here. We copy it back on our website here, paste it, move on to the next one. I'm going to copy it. Come back over here, paste it. So you want to do this until you've copied all your colors. Okay, all our colors now have been added to our color palette. So I'm going to scroll all the way down here and click on Save Changes. All right, so our color palette has been added. It's time now to design our website. So the first thing we take a look here is the top area here. We can see our header here doesn't look great. So that's the first thing we need to work on. We need to make this look really nice. So let's go ahead and start creating our template for our header. And the reason why we're doing it as a template is because we want the header to be applied across the whole website. And we're also going to do the same with the footer as well. So let's go ahead and do that. So to go into our template builder, we need to be here in the theme builder. So I'm going to go ahead and select theme builder, and I'm going to click now on add global header, build global header. So the header we're going to build is going to be pretty much basic. We're not going to go and build a complicated header here. So next I'm going to click on start building. And for this design, we're going to build this from scratch. And we are going to start off with a layout. So the layout we're going to go with is this one right here. I'm going to go ahead and select it. Over here is where our logo is going to be. So I am going to leave this blank for now. And next over here is where our menu is going to be. So I'm going to search for my menu module and select it. Next, I'm going to snap this over to the left so I can see what I am designing here. So I'm going to assign this menu here to the main menu. And the next step now is to customize our font. So I am going to now head over here to our design tab, menu text. We're going to change our menu font here to Poppins. So I'm going to search for the font. I'm going to make it all caps. And the color of my font here is going to be this color right here. Now you'll notice in a moment why I want to have it light, because that's mainly because I want to have a dark background. All right, so now that I've selected that, I'm going to go back over here to my content, click on background and make sure I remove the background from this menu item. Okay, so finally, I just need to increase my size for my menu text. So right now it's set to 14. I just want to bring it now to about 15. And I'm also going to add some letter spacing. So let's add about 2 for our letter spacing. And then finally, let's make it bold. Okay, great. So now that I have my menu set, I'm going to come back over here. And this now is my row. So what I need to do here with my row is I want to make it full width so it stretches all the way to the edge. But before I do that, let's add our background color here so we can see what it looks like. So this is going to be our color. In fact, let me just go in and make it slightly darker. Okay, so that's going to be our background color. And then next, I'm going to come over here to design, spacing, and I'm going to adjust my padding here because I want to make sure that there's enough space in here. So I'm going to set this to 0 and then start adjusting this. So let's set this to say 1%. Okay, I think that's better. So 1% to the top and bottom. Now the next step is to adjust our size. So I'm going to come over here to sizing and I want to make sure that this is a maximum width of 100%. And also our width here needs to be 100%. So now we can see that this goes all the way to the edge and this is exactly what we need to do. Okay, so now that this is set, we're going to go ahead now and save. And I just need to align this over to the right. So I'm going to go into my module settings, click on design, menu text. Then we're just going to scroll down here until we find our text alignment. And here we can align it all the way to the right. Now you can see here we have an issue because this is all the way to the edge. So that can be fixed by adding a spacing. So I'm going to come over here and our padding to the right here is going to be say 5%. And that looks much better now. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. All right, so the next thing we need to do is to design the secondary menu. And to do that, I'm going to duplicate this row. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So the top one here is going to act as the secondary menu. So I am going to go in and change the color. So I'm going to click here on row settings. I'm going to go to my background, change my background color. The text color here is not too bad, but we can always go in and customize it. So the next step now is to just go into design here, and I'm going to go into spacing. And for this, I'm just going to remove my padding here and just add it to the top. There we go. And save. And now I need to change my menu and assign it to the secondary menu. So I'm going to go back in here. So over here on the menu, instead of main menu, let's go to secondary menu. And now you're going to see that we will have a totally different menu. You can see we have our checkout here. We also have our account and so on. But as I hover over here, we know we have our terms and conditions, but we can't see it because of the way it is shown here. We need a background color here. Let's fix that. So I'm going to click here on design, drop down menu. And for our drop down background color, I am going to choose this color right here. So let's see if that works. So now we can see that this is now working okay, but it's overlapping. So we need this to be right on the top. So let's fix that. But before we go in, we need to adjust the size of our text here. So let's go back to our menu. And this time we're not going to make this bold. Let's keep this regular. And let's reduce the size a little bit to 14 because we don't want this to be the highlight. And let's say we change the color as well. So I think that looks much better. And for this, I'm going to remove the letter spacing, or let's keep it at 1. And that's looking much better. All right, so now I'm going to save this. And then now I'm going to go into my row settings, click on advanced. So what we need to do now is to go to position. And on our Z index, I'm just going to make sure that this is all the way to the top. And now you can see when I hover over here, my terms and conditions now is showing and it's not being covered by this. Okay, that's great. I'm going to save this. Now I can see that my text here is not right in the middle, and that is quite annoying me. So let me go ahead and fix that quickly. I'm going to go into my design and then go into spacing. So on the bottom here, I'm going to set this to 0. Break the chain and set the top to perhaps 2. So this could be 0.5. Okay, that looks much better now. I'm going to save. Now there's also a step that we need to do, which is very important, and that is to remove our padding on the top and the bottom here. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to click here, and I am going to now go to my design, spacing. We're going to add 0, both to the top and the bottom. And you can see now this has already changed this. And what we're also going to do here is to make sure that this is fixed. So I'm going to go to position. And then over here, we're going to choose fixed. And what we're also going to do is we are going to add a drop shadow here so we can see where that ends. So to do that, we're going to come over here to design, box shadow, and we are going to use this one here. And you can see now I've added a box shadow here. It's very subtle, but that is good enough. Okay, so our heading is now done. So let's save this. I'm going to save. And we're going to close out of here, save changes. Now let's take a look at our menu now that we've finished designing it. So I'm going to refresh this. And now we can see that our menu is now in place and it is sticky as well. And when we come over here to our shop, we can see that our links are all working okay. All right, great. So our heading is done and it's being applied to all the pages on our website. The next step now is to work on our footer because as you can see, this doesn't look great. So let's go ahead and fix that quickly. So I'm back over here now in my theme builder. I'm going to click now on add global header, build global footer. I'm going to build this from scratch. So I'm going to start with a single column here and we're going to add a text module and select that. So let's start by adding a title in here. So we are going to set this to heading 3. Now let's stylize this. So I'm going to come over here to design, text, and let's set this to Poppins. Okay, so let's save this for now because ideally this would look great if we knew what the background was going to be. So I'm going to go into here, into my section settings and add my background. So the background I'm going to use is this one right here and save. Now we can go in and start adding all our colors to our design. So let me click here again on my text module and let's go in and add our color. So I'm going to go back to my heading text and here it is. Now, if you're not sure which heading it is, you just click here on this little paintbrush icon and this will show you which one it is. So I'm on heading 3. So let's change this to Poppins. Now we can set our color. And look at that, all our colors now will work really well because these are all colors from the color palette. So I'm going to use that and I'm happy with that. I'm going to go now and in fact, let's change this to semi-bold. All right, so now I'm going to save. I'm also going to add another text module. So I'm going to click on this plus button. So this text module here is going to have all our links. So I'm going to override this, add my first link, hit enter. So you want to add all your links over here. I'm going to add another one. Okay, so I have a total of 4 links. Now for this to work, you need to go in here, highlight this and make sure you click on this chain icon and add a link. So I'm going to add a blank link for now on all of these so that I can go in and stylize them. So let's go in and do this for the second one. Click on the chain icon, add my link, click OK. And let's continue doing this until all 4 of them are done. Let's save that. And this is the final one. Add a blank link. Great. So now that we have done that, the next step now is to stylize this. So I'm going to click here on this paintbrush icon, and this is going to take me to my link. So first of all, we want to change this text to Poppins and increase the size a little bit, maybe to about 15. And then we are going to, should we underline it? Maybe not. Okay, so what we're going to do next is to add our color. So the color we're going to go with is, let's see what works. So let's go with this one here. In fact, you know what? We're going to go with that. So that's going to be our colors for our links. That's looking great. Now I can go ahead and save this, and pretty much we are good to go. So what I can do now is to go to my row settings and duplicate my columns here a few times. So let's go 1, 2, 3. So now we have 4 columns. What you need to do next is to go in and change this text. Okay, so once you've changed it, these will be links to all the different items on your website. So this could be terms and conditions, this could be contact us, this would be, you know, it depends how you want it to be. So I'm going to perhaps keep this at 3. That looks much better. And I'm going to go in now and change this text. Okay, so I've gone in and I've added my terms and conditions, our company, and so on. Next, let's now add one more section, and this is pretty much going to have our copyright text. So let me add a text module here. So what we're going to do is to add some dynamic text. So we're going to say site title, and then I'm going to go into the dynamic text here. So on the before, we're going to add our copyright sign, add our year 2021, add this bracket there. So you can see now it's showing. So Woo is our website that has just taken our website name. And then after that, we can decide what we need to add. So we could say designed by Mac, and let's save this. So we just need to add a space again and that little item there. Right. So now that we have this, let us go in and customize this text by coming over here to design and then click on text. I'm going to change this to Poppins. And all we have to do now is to add our color. So I'm going to go with this as our color. We are going to save this now. Next, we're going to go into our section settings and add a background color. So we're going to go very dark here. Next, we're going to come over here to our design and remove this space. There's a bit too much space there. So we're going to go into spacing and reduce our padding down to 0, both to the top and the bottom. And save. So now this is our footer. So let's take a look. This is what we have right now as our footer. And notice what happens when we save this. So I'm just going to click these 3 little dots here. Get myself out of the way. Click on save. We're going to close out of here. Save changes. And now when we come over here and refresh, we now have this beautiful footer. And this is a total transformation. This is looking great. All right. So now that we have this so far, we have gone ahead. We created our header. We've created our footer. The next step now is to design the inside of the website. So this is where we're going to create some templates for our products, because right now, when we take a look at our product, it doesn't look great. I'll just show you one more time here. You can see that things don't look okay. Our text here is not in line with our branding and our design that we've done so far. So we need to go in and really change this. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to come back over here now. And what we need to do next is to go to our template here. So I'm going to click here on this plus button. But in fact, before we do that, we just need to add our global body here. So let's build our global body, start from scratch. And we are going to have a single column here. And let's add our post content. So what makes your design fast is to just come over here and change your font. So let's start here with our content. So I'm going to click on this gear icon to go into my post content settings. Click on this paintbrush tool, and this is going to take us straight to our heading. And now I can customize this, make this bold. I can also change my color here. And next, I'm going to go to my paragraph. And again, I'm going to change this to Poppins. I'm going to increase my size here a little bit, 16. Add our line height so it's nice and easy to read. I think we need to go with 2.2 EM. Okay, now we can change the color of our text, and we have a lot to choose from here. So let's see what works better. So I think we can just go with this color right here. Okay, that's looking great. Now you can go in and customize your heading 2 and heading 3 as well. So let's change this to pop-ins and change this from regular to bold, but we're going to leave the size as it is. But we may need to increase the size of heading 1. So instead of 30, let's just bump it up to about 34. All right, so now that we have this all set, finally, we're going to do heading 3, change this to semi-bold, and we're going to save this. Right, so the next step now is to come over here to our row settings. And in our row settings, I'm going to come over here to design, sizing, and we are going to change our width here to 100%. We're going to save that, and we also need to add some margin to the top here. So I'm going to go to design, spacing, and for our margin top, I'm going to set this to say 20 and see how that looks like. Save that, save one more time. So now we are going to have consistent text on our pages on our website. So I'm going to close out of here, save changes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to visit my website and see what this looks like so far. So I'm going to open this in a new tab. And when we take a look here, of course, we don't see anything here, but let's go to our shop. So when we take a look at one of our pages, we can see that everything has been updated here. Our font now is consistent, but we still don't have enough space over here on the top. So let's fix that. So I'm going to go back to my global body. So I'm going to click here on design, spacing, and let's increase this, and perhaps maybe percentages work better. So I'm going to add 5%. We're going to save this. Now let's see what that looks like. Okay, so that's looking much better. You can see our content now is in place. Now this may be a bit too wide, so I want to reduce this as well. So I'm going to go into my row settings, design, sizing. So instead of 80%, I'm going to bring this down to about 72 and save. So these are the little tweaks that you need to go in and do to make sure everything is looking great on your website. So you may need to bounce back between your designs. Excellent. So that's looking much, much better now. We can see our header there is sticky, which is great. We have a beautiful footer here, but now it's time to work on our design for our product pages, because as I mentioned, this doesn't look great at all. All right, so let's do that. So I am going to now close out of here and create a new template. So I'm going to click on this plus button. And for our templates, I am going to scroll all the way down here until I find my Woo product. So these are all our products. I'm going to choose this here. So this is our all products template. So I'm going to click on create template. Now I am going to go into my global bodies. This is where I need to make all my changes so that my product template looks great. So let's go ahead and delete what we have in here, and let's start building our template. So the first thing I'm going to do here is to click on this plus button here and add a regular section. So this section here is going to start off with a single column. And what we're going to have in that column is our Woo product title. So I'm going to type in Woo title. I'm going to select that. Make sure product, it says this product. That is very important. And before we can go in and make any customizations here, let's just save and add a background onto this. So I'm going to click on section settings, go to my background here. And what I'm going to do for my background is to add a featured image. So I'm going to click here on this third tab and add here my featured image. So I'm going to click on dynamic, set my featured image. So it won't really show here. It will show properly once we have a product. Okay, so now that we have this, ideally, I want to have a dark background and just show a little bit of the product here. So I'm going to come back over here to my background and add a dark color. And then back over here on my image, I am going to change my blending mode to multiply. Great. The final step to this technique is to come back over here to your background. I know I'm going back and forth a lot, so let's just pull this down a little bit until we can see just a little bit of the product there. So let's go down a bit again to about, let's go to 80. There we go. All right, so I think that would work. So now I'm going to save this, and it's time now to go and customize my product. So I'm going to go in here because you can see it's quite difficult to read our product here. So let's set our title here to Poppins, change from regular to bold. And we're also going to change our color here. So we can cycle through these and see which color you'd like to use for your product. So I want something that really stands out. So I'm going to go with that, make it all caps. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to make this even bigger. So let's go in and just bump this up to about 42. Okay, so far so good. I'm going to save that. And now I'm going to add a bit of padding in my section here. Usually I like going to about 100 on my padding here. And let's do the same to the bottom here. And I think that looks much better. We may need to apply this both to the top and the bottom just to make sure. Okay, let's go with 132. All right, so I think that's great. Now I need to just drag this to the top. Okay, so that's going to be our main product area. All right, so the next part now is to add another module. So I'm going to click here on this plus button, and this is going to be our Woo breadcrumbs. And here it is. I'm going to select it. And next, I'm going to go to design, text. We're going to change the color here. We're going to change our font to Poppins. We're going to increase the size a little bit. And also, in fact, we can leave it like that. But if I make it all caps, that doesn't really look great. So I'm going to just save it like that. And that's looking better. Now here I can also play with percentages because this works better when we have mobile devices. So let's go into our section settings here. Go to design, spacing, and instead of using pixels, let's add 5%. And if you want, you can just bump this a little bit and see what that looks like. So we may want to go with 8%. All right, that's great. And while we're here, we're going to add a margin here of, say, 40 to the top. Save. Okay, so that's our first part. This is going to highlight our main product. So let's continue here. I'm going to click on this plus button, and this time I'm going to add regular, and this is going to be a 2-column structure. So our first module here is going to be an image. So let's go ahead and add Woo image. I'm going to select it. So first things first, I'm going to add some rounded corners here. So I'm going to click on design, border, and I'm going to set this to 4. That's great. Save that. Now over here, I'm going to add my title. So let's go again and add our Woo title. There we go. I'm going to set that. We're going to go into our design, title text, change this to Poppins. So we're not going to do much here. We're just going to keep it basic, and let's choose our color. So I'm going to go with that for my color, and we are going to save this. Now it's time to add a description to our product. So I'm going to click here, search for Woo description, select it. And again, I'm going to come over here to my design, text, change this from default to Poppins. We're going to increase the size to about 16, increase our line height to about 0.8. So that's taking shape. I really like that. I'm going to save. Moving on, click on this plus button. We're going to add our price. So it's going to be Woo price. Select that. Again, we're going to change our price text from default to Poppins. We're going to increase the size a little bit. 34. Make this stand out by making it bold. And we're going to change the color. Excellent. So our price is looking great. Now what we need after adding the price is the add to cart. So I'm going to click on this plus button. So let's go for Woo add to cart. There we go. And now it's time to customize this quickly. So let's start here with the color size. Now here we need to change this from default to Poppins. We're going to make this all caps. The color is okay. And then over here, I'm going to change a few of this. So our first thing we're going to change here is the font. So let's go to Poppins. We're going to increase the size a little bit. So we're going to go to 14, and that's already looking much better. Now over here on our add to cart, I am going to start here with this area here. We're going to give this a border and a background. So let's go ahead and come over here to our field background color. So for that, let's try something like that. I think that already looks much better because it's going to be consistent now with the colors that we use throughout our site. So I'm going to leave that as it is. Next, I'm going to come to the button here, this add to cart button. I'm going to activate use custom styles button, and for our text color I am going to use this color here, and for the background color I'm going to use this orange, and I'm also going to use that for our border. And you can see already that looks great. So you can also play around with our background color here to see which one works better, but I think this is a much better option. Okay, so I am going to now save this. So you may want to also add some sort of rating here. So let's add our Woo rating. And here it is. Select that. Now the beauty of this is we can go in and customize all this. So for our rating, I'm going to click here and choose our star rating. So for our star rating, we can go with, we can go with something like that. We can also increase the size here a little bit. So let's go up to about, say, 18, maybe even 20. And let's add some letter spacing as well. We need to space the stars. And then we're going to come over here now and stylize our text, change it from default to pop-ins. And for our text color here, we're going to use that. And we're also going to increase the size a little bit. Right, so 16 works great. So now we have our star rating. We have pretty much all the information that we need here. I'm now going to save this. And the next step now is to save so I can show you what we've done so far, because I know I've just been going in, tweaking, but ideally you want to see what things look like. So let's go ahead and do that. So I am going to save this now and close out of here, save changes. Now let's go to our site. In fact, we can just come over here to our cart. Let's refresh this. Now, when we take a look at our products, we can now see that this now has taken effect. So you can see our colors here have been updated. Our add to cart button here is there. And this is looking great so far. Now let's go in and do further customizations. We also need related products here and product description. So let's go in and add that information now. All right, so I've gone ahead and added my related products here. So you can see this is looking way much better. And this template now has been applied across all my products on my website. So let me show you what happens when I click a different product. So let's say I click on this one here. You can see the layout is going to be the same throughout all of this. So we have our image here in the background, and pretty much this is looking great. And we also have our related products here, and also our footer. Okay, so this is great. The next step now is to build our homepage, because this page is very, very important as well, because this is where people see when they land on our website. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to come back over here to my site, and I'm going to go to pages, click on all pages. So the page we need to work on is the homepage. So I'm going to click on edit with Divi. We're going to build this from scratch. And for our design here, we are going to start off with our header. So I'm going to click here on regular. In fact, we need full width. So let's go with a full width header for this design. And what we're going to do now is we're going to add our content here. But what I usually like doing here is to make sure that I see my complete design. So I'm going to come over here to design layout, make sure that this is set to full screen so that I can see everything. So now I'm going to save this, and I'm going to drag this to the top like that. Okay, so that's great. So the next step now is to go in and add all my elements in this design. So let's start off by adding our background image. So I'm going to click here on this tab to add our image. And the image I am going to add is maybe this one here of Happy People Shopping. Now I know I have a background color here, so let's just get rid of it for now and then save. So I can see now that my color here is in the background of my section settings. So let's go ahead and so I can see here that my color here is in the settings of my full width header. So let me go right there to the background and fix this. In fact, we may need to design this from here anyway. So let me add my image like that. and you can see my image has been added to my background. And then back over here, we're going to decide whether we're going to have a dark or a light background. So let's see what works. So if we try to go with a light background here, we could go to our blend mode and set this to lighten. And then back over here, we can then increase a bit of transparency, just like that, just so that we can show a bit of what is happening here in the background. Or we can do the opposite and have this dark and just show a little bit of the background. So I think the dark version is better. So I'm going to choose my dark color here. And I'm just going to drill this down a little bit. And remember, now that we've chosen a dark color, we need to go in and change this from lighten to a multiply. So now you can see this is looking way much better. All right, so the next step now is to go in and add our titles and our content in here. So I'm going to go back to my text, add my title, and then I'm going to add my description as well. Now I can go in and customize this by coming over here to the design tab. So let's start with the title. So let's change the color to that so it's easier to read. And then for my description text, I'm going to change this from regular to semi-bold. And we are going to increase the size to about 22. And for my button, I can either leave it like that or I can design it and add a bit of color to it. But you know what? I'm going to leave it as it is. And what I'm also going to do here is I am going to adjust my size. So let's go to sizing. And for our content width, we're going to reduce this to about 62%. So I can see here there's a bit of a problem. So let's go here and add some line height to our text here. And you know what? We need to make it bold. So for our line height, I'm going to set this to 1.4. And I'm also going to increase my size here a little bit to about 36. Save that. Okay, so that's not looking too bad. So I'm going to save this page. Right, so ideally I need this to be full screen. So let's fix that on our template. So I'm going to now go to my dashboard, but I'm going to do this in a new tab. And then I'm going to come all the way down here to our theme builder and go to my global body. And I'm just going to change here and set my width to 100%. So that should fix it. I'm going to save now. Save this one more time. And now if I come to my design here and refresh it, this is now full screen. So that's looking great. And I really like how this looks so far. So let's move on now and add other elements on our page. So I'm going to click on this plus button to add our regular section. And the first one here is going to have our text. And this is going to be my title. So I'm just going to call this latest products. And let's design this now. So I'm going to come over here. And for our texts, we are going to change this to pop-ins. And let's make it all caps from regular to semi-bold. We're going to increase the size a little bit. Add some letter spacing. Okay, so now let's go ahead and save. Now let's add one more. In fact, we don't need to add a module here. Let's move on now and add another row. So in this row now, let's search for our shop module. So this is going to allow us to add all our products on the main page, and we can add these however we want by choosing what we have here. So we can come over here now to our elements. We can add our shop pagination if we have a lot of products here on our main page. But now the good thing is you can see that all this is designed. It has all the elements that we need, our pricing and everything looks great. So what we're going to do now is to customize this a little bit more. So there may be a bit of work that needs to be done here. So what I'm going to do now, back on the content here, we can change the product view by showing our latest products, featured products, sale products, and so on. So you can see here that this module is versatile. We can use this for so many things, but I am just going to leave this on the default so it shows most of our products. Over here now on the design, what I may want to do is to make a few changes to our overlay here. So you can see the overlay here doesn't look great. So I'm going to come over here to overlay. So the icon can be this color here. And then the background color, this time I'm going to change this. So you can see there, this is the effect of that. So now I'm going to click on the eyedropper tool, drag this down a little bit to about halfway. And you can see now my overlay is now showing. And that is consistent with the colors on my website. So that's looking great. The price here it may be a good idea to change the price here and make it bold. And maybe even change the color. So let's make this bold. So I'm going to come over here to regulars, change this to bold. Yep, now that's looking much, much better. I really like how it's looking now. So pretty much that's my homepage. I am going now to save this, and I am happy with that. Now here, let me go back in and make a few adjustments here. So I'm going to reduce the size of the text. So let's go down to about 16. And for our color, right, let's go with something like that. So we're going to save, and let's add a divider. In fact, you know what? There's no need to add a divider. So I'm going to come over here now to design, spacing, and let's set 100 here, both to the top and the bottom. So that's great. So I have my main landing page here with my products, and I like how this is looking so far. Okay, so I'm going to save that. Now, if you have any other things that you may want to add here, it is very easy to add. We can add maybe a video here. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to click on this plus button, click on regular. So we're going to have a 1/3, 2/3 column. And over here on the left, we're going to add some text. So I'm going to add my text module here. So what are we going to do here is, first of all, let's go into our background and add a background color. It's much easier if you work this way. So if you add your background color first, it's easier now to see what you're actually doing on your site. So with that added, I'm just going to bring this down a little bit because I don't want this taking over my full design. Okay, so we're going to go with that and save. Now let's add our elements over here. So I'm going to go back in here. Let's add a title to this. So I'm just going to paste it in here. We're going to set this to heading 2. I'm going to save that. Now let's add another module. Again, it's going to be a text module. Let's select that. So this could be information about our shop. I'm going to paste that. Save it right there. Over here now, we're going to add a video. I'm going to select it. Now straight away, we're going to add an image overlay. Click on this plus button, and we're going to use this as our image like that. And that just makes our video look much better. You can see now that is beautiful. All right, so what we're going to do next is we are going to customize this icon. It looks way too big. So we're going to go to play icon, use icon size. We're going to make this smaller. And also just to keep our consistency here, we're going to add 3 as our border. There we go. So that's looking great. Let's have a look. Right, so we have our latest products here, and then we also have information about our store. And I may want to go in here and remove this because that doesn't look very nice. So let's save this. And I think this is coming from the footer here. So let's go in and fix that. So we're going to close out of here, go into our global footer. And let's just check and see if the margins are set over here. So it's definitely not here. So let's take a look and see where that is coming from. So I'm going to go into my section settings here, design, spacing. So let's just make sure we don't have any margins here. So next we're going to add our padding, and that's looking all right. So I want to do the same to the bottom here. Okay, that's great. So our design here has some breathing space. So there's one more section that we need to add here, and this is our email opt-in. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to search for email opt-in. So this is for discounts. So you may want to build your mailing list here. So this is how you can quickly grow it. So let's go in and first of all, remove our background over here, so like that. And now we need to go and customize this text. So let's give this a color so we can see what we are doing. So now that I've added the color, it's time now to customize everything else. So let's go ahead and add our title. So I'm going to go back to my content, click on text, add my title in here. Now I don't need this description text here. Let's get rid of that. Next, we're going to go over here to our design layout, and we're going to make sure that we want body on top, form on the bottom, just like that. And now we need to customize our form fields. So we're going to go into our first one here, which is the first name. And let's give this some background. And let's make this a bit more transparent as well. Right, now we have the button to work on. So I'm going to click here on our button, activate use custom styles for button. And let's start with our text color. So let's go ahead and add that. And for our background color, we're going to use this orange here for consistency and also add that on our borders. Okay, so that's looking great so far. We may want to center this. So I'm just going to come back over here now and make sure my text alignment is set to center. And then finally, what we need to do is to go back to the content and make sure this is connected to our email service provider. So you want to come over here to our email, and I use Fluent CRM. So this is how you would add it. If you click on add, you can add your account name here, and that will connect it. Now over here on the fields, we don't need the last name. So we just need the first name and email. And then we're just going to hit save. Okay, so that's going to be our opt-in. So that's great. I'm going to save this now. And that's our email part, our email opt-in part. So that's great. Let's just give this a bit of padding as well. So we're going to give this 100. And save. So pretty much our landing page has been designed, and this is looking great. We're going to exit the visual builder now, and let's take a quick look at our design right now. And that looks great. This is our section, opt-in, and we have our footer. All right, so this is looking great. So the next page we need to work on is the contact page. So let's go ahead and work on it. So I'm going to click enable visual builder. So we're going to build this from scratch. We're going to add 2 columns. On the left side here, we're just going to add some text, and this will be the shop information. So we can start here with the address. Okay, we're going to add the phone number. So now let's go in and stylize this. So I'm going to go in here and turn this to, say, heading 4. And we're going to do that with the address as well. Set this to heading 4. In fact, you know what? Let's see what heading 3 looks like. So I think heading 3 is better. Okay, so we're going to go in, set this to heading 3, and that's looking much better. And we can also add more information here on the right. So this is where we need to add our contact form. So let's go ahead and add that. So let's add contact. Here we go. So that's our form. All you have to do now is to come over here to the email, add your email address, so that when people add their email, their information here, it gets sent to your email address. Right, so we're going to save that. And we also need a title to this. So we're going to click here on this plus button and add a title. In fact, we need a text module. Right, let's go ahead and select it. And we're going to say, send us an email. And we're going to set this to heading 3 and save this, bring this to the top. Okay, so that's looking great. So what I may want to do as well is to go into our row settings here, click on design, sizing, and for our custom gutter width, let's reduce this a little bit, maybe to even 1. All right, so that's looking great. I'm going to save this. And then finally, I am going to add some padding to this. So I'm going to bring it to about 100. Let's save this. That's our contact page. You can even go further and give this page a huge title there on the top if you wanted to, but this will do the job. So now I am going to hit exit visual builder, and we have our contact form. Now, if we go to our shop, we need to create a shop page. So to do that, we need to create this as a template. So I'm going to come back over here and click on this plus button, and let's search for Woo pages. And here we go. Here is our shop. Create template. So let's delete this for now and add a custom global body. So for this, we're going to build this from scratch. Start building, single column. And what I'm going to do now is to look for our shop module. And this is going to be similar to what we did on the main page, which is have all our products here. So let's go in and do a few customizations here. So we're going to add our price, change this to bold, and we're also going to adjust our title here and just make sure that this is also set to pop-ins and bold. We're going to increase the size a little bit. Okay, I think 18 works great. And for the images, we're going to add a border, and this is going to be 3. And for the sale, let's change the badge color to our orange. And we also need to change our text here to pop-ins. The size, I think that's a bit too much. Let's bring this down to about 18. All right, so that's looking great. Let's go ahead now and save this. And we can also give this a title to the page. So let's go ahead and do that by clicking on this plus button and adding our text module. And we can just call this our shop. We're going to set this to heading 2. Now let's stylize this by coming over here to our heading text, change this to pop-ins, change this from regular to bold. Oops, that's not working. So we need to be working on heading 2, pop-ins, change this to bold. We're going to add some letter spacing. So let's go with 8 and let's center this, save that. And then we're just going to drag this to the top like that. All right, so that's looking great. We're also going to add some padding here to the top. All right, so now let's save this. Okay, so with that saved, let's go now to our shop. And now you can see that our products are now showing on our shop page. So I can see here we need to add a bit more space here on the top. So let's go ahead and go back to our module. So let's add some margins to the top. So I'm going to go to spacing and we're going to add 5% and save. Save one more time. And now let's refresh our page. And now we can see that we have space there on the top, and this looks much, much better. So you can further customize this by going in and adding a bit of a description here where it says our shop. That may make this design look much better. In fact, let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go back over here to my custom body, click on this plus button, add our text module. So let's add our description text, design, text, change this to pop-ins, and let's change this from regular to semi-bold. Let's increase the size a little bit and give this some line height. And then we are going to center this. And finally, let's go into our sizing and reduce the width and center it. Okay, I think that's going to look great. And then finally, we just need to give this a bit of breathing space here. So let's go to spacing and bottom padding. Let's just give this about 25. All right, so we're going to save that, save it one more time. And now when we refresh our page, we now have our main shop page. So now we've pretty much completed our design. We added our contact page and we also completed working on our homepage. Now let's take a look at our site so far. So here we can see we have a beautiful landing page. In fact, let me remove myself from the bottom there. So when I scroll down, we have our latest products here and it's showing our all 8 results. And when you scroll down further, we also see a bit information about our online store, and we also have a video to go with it. And then further down here, we also have an email opt-in option here where people can add their email to get discounts. And then finally, we have our footer area. So this is great. Now let's take a look at our product pages. So if I click on any of these products, Like for example here, it's going to take us to a product page which we spent a lot of time designing, and this is what it looks like. So you can see here, this main area here shows a preview of our product with a description and also the categories. And then when I scroll down here, we can see that we have a before price and after. And when we scroll further down, we have our related products. And if someone leaves a review on our products, we will see the reviews over here. So when you scroll down further, we have now our footer and our little footer here at the bottom. And we also have our contact page, which we put together quickly, which only has our form and our address. But like I said, you can add things like a map over here just to make it more dynamic. And then we also have our shop, just in case people want to directly go to the shop. This is where they land. And as you can see here, this design is beautiful. It has all our products. And like I said, if you click any of these, you're going to have a consistent layout. And you can see here, we have this beautiful camera there in the background, and it has all our related products and our product descriptions. So this is it. This is how you create a professional looking online store, step by step. I know there may have been a few steps that I may have missed. So if I have and you have further questions, please leave your questions in the comments box below, and I'll do my very best to help you out with that. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. See you again in the next video. Take care.